All right, a video is going to be easier. First, I'll say, do whatever you're comfortable with. I'm going to tell you my experience with Stratum has been incredible. So I just put this cutting in Stratum yesterday. These are all from a very high white sectoral 6-foot Albo, kind of my baby. But it was too top heavy, and it kept falling over, and it was just too difficult to manage at that height. So it was really, I had to cut it. So this, I just put in Stratum yesterday, but it has been in moss as my baseline cutting for 28 days. I was like, let's test moss versus Stratum and see what kind of results I get with either. And this has been super pissed. So, and it's actually the greenest cutting, so you would think that it would root fastest. But the leaves, super dehydrated, leathery. The stem, very dehydrated. Now this one has been in Stratum since day one. And I think the results kind of speak for themselves. I think the reason why people are not having good luck with Stratum, number one, is probably overwatered. You see how there's like little balls on the side, like these little, you can see the moisture touching the glass. That's what you want. You don't want it black. You want it, you want to be able to see the air pockets in there. About an 1/8 inch of water on the bottom is okay, but you don't want it to get too high up. You know, if it gets too high up, you can drain it out. It's not difficult. I top mine with moss, and that helps keep the moisture in because it actually does dry out pretty fast. So I do have a dry one here I wanted to show you. Let's see how it's all chalky. Now, there's still some moisture in there. You can see at the bottom there's still moisture, so it's still fine, but I will water this today. And the way I water the Stratum is really easy. Squirt bottle, got some really good double filtered water in here. I don't add nutrients, although I think this water does have nutrients. I don't add nutrients, haven't needed to. I don't think it makes a difference either way, but I will just spray the moss until it basically just drips down into the Stratum. And if I get too much, I'll take this to the sink and I'll tip it over, holding the moss and the cutting. I'll tip it over, drain out the excess water. And it has worked really, really well for me. Maybe I'm just lucky. I've done a bunch of different cuttings, philos and corms, and it's been great. Also, you need light. In order to produce roots, these plants need a ton of energy. They're putting so much energy into those roots. So I've got a 36 watt GE and a 32 watt Sansi, and they're pretty close to these cuttings. And I do think that that does help with the rooting. However, the cutting that doesn't have any roots was in moss, no roots. The cutting that was in Stratum has roots, and they're under the same light. So again, using that one in the back as a baseline, I am pretty convinced that Stratum is the way to go for me personally. I can understand it's a little scary at first because you don't know anything about it, but it does work really well. So do what works for you. Make sure you sterilize your glass, sterilize your equipment, whatever you're using. Wear gloves, that helps. I have like a set of rubber gloves that I wear when I mess around with these, but it's been working great. This is what I would recommend.